Hello, good morning. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your weekend to learn more about our new construction duplexes in Texas. Seguin, Texas is a beautiful place where there is tremendous growth. Pathways are starting to build out that way, which is the best place to get in, as we know, in real estate investing for that growth. It's already established and now it's just ready to grow. So I'm excited to introduce our team. I have Josh and Christina on here with me. They actually live in San Antonio, Texas, part of my office there. So they're going to be talking a little bit later today. So excited to have you all on. This is me, Tanya Lorimore. I have been with the Marshall Reddick Real Estate Company for almost 8 years now. I'm second generation. My parents started coming when I was in middle school. I've graduated college and have been in the workforce for quite some time now. So I grew up at a very young age, hands-on, helping my parents with rentals. I definitely have a passion. I hold my broker's license here in California and went for my finance degree, the FRL program, Finance Real Estate Law. So once we start getting to know one another later on after you have enjoyed this presentation, right, I could answer all the questions necessary to meet your needs financially as well as go over how we analyze the numbers. Since I've been with the Marshall Reddick Company, I've sold over 700 properties. It's absolutely a passion, and I hope to share that with you. A little bit about Marshall Reddick Real Estate, if you're new to us, is we're a one-stop shop. So we've been around since 1979. We're not only just a traditional brokerage where we help people buy and sell property for primary homes or investment homes. We do property management, the most important portion of an investment property. It's so important to check out reviews online, and I would be happy and proud for you guys to view those just so you get a sense of who we are before you actually talk with us. Those are, public reviews, and I think that's the most powerful part. Now, private financing, this is a unique tool, and how that comes into play is maybe you have extra money that you're keeping separate that you want to just invest. Why not be like a big lending institution, right, and make 7 to 13% on your money, backed by real estate, right? You would be the Chase Bank, for example. So you would own that note. That's a great way. People that own more than 10 rental properties use private financing because you can't get any more traditionally through Fannie and Freddie, or you're investing through a retirement account like a 401k or a self-directed IRA, right? Where you can't get a conventional mortgage. So then you would be on the borrowing side. Everything that you would need, we have vendors to 1031 exchanges, lenders, the whole bit. So anything that you need, I'm here. As you can see, all the free education that we offer, I'm here to guide you in any way that would be helpful. Now, these are the markets that we're in. We're in 16 major metropolitan markets across the United States, so the darker ones are where we have a handle. The areas that I have colleagues and brick and mortar Marshall Reddick offices with property management teams would be in California, all these areas in California, and in Cape Coral and Port Charlotte, and obviously San Antonio, awesome place to invest. I love it. And Austin, Texas. So just to give you a picture, if this is the first time you've joined us, we are everywhere. And why is it that we're in only these locations, right? So this is how we've decided. It's all data driven, economic driven. We need to be in a place where there's high rental demand, right? There's no sense in buying the most gorgeous property if nobody's available to rent it or can afford to. So vacancy rate, we take that into account due to like saturation rates on the market, which basically comes to how many days on market does it take to lease a place out. Economic diversity, we don't want to be in a Detroit kind of market where there's only one job source. We need multiple job abilities for tenants that will be able to pay your mortgage for you. And housing affordability, does it make sense, rent versus purchase price? And California, is it or is it not landlord friendly? Go ahead and type that in that chat box. Correct. It is not a landlord friendly state, guys. We all know that. But all the other markets that we're in, not by chance, specifically picked because they are landlord friendly, and Texas especially, business driven. Yeah, so very much so in favor of business, which would mean your business as a landlord when you buy. Strong education means that there's colleges nearby, universities, and then most importantly, number 7, the property management. Now, I love to share this slide. It shows the, metropolitan statistical median home price of the area. Very different from other markets. Each one is unique. We have to the right over the years of the data of the home prices, but you can see how we classify A, B, or C class properties. So at the very top where it says single family residence on that heat scale, anything between 120 to 190 is a C class neighborhood. And then as you go up, you can see for a B class would be 190 to 237. And so for multifamily units, if it's like a fourplex or a duplex, each unit would have to equal these dollar amounts below, and that would let it fall into the category of A, B, or C. When you have time, you can go ahead and email me after this presentation and ask me to share with you our property rating book. See that download ebook? I'll be happy to send it to you guys. Now, I am so excited to introduce Christina and Josh. Christina's first, so I'm going to let her take over and share a little bit about her and what she's done for our team.
Great. Thank you so much, Tanya. Thank you, everybody, for attending today, this lovely morning. My name is Christina Dorier. I'm a realtor. I've been in the real estate business since 1999. I was a loan officer for the first 15 years. And after being in that one side of the market, loved it, I decided to become a realtor in 2014. And I've been working with Marshall Reddick since 2017. I actually been working with Tanya since 2017 as well. And I am married to my husband, and I have 2 amazing kids. He's military. And, we're just very busy with our kids, but it's a great city to live in, San Antonio. I've lived in San Antonio all my life, so I'm very familiar with all the areas of San Antonio, like where to invest in, where not to invest in. So that's a good thing about me is I know all parts of San Antonio very, very well. So that's really, really good. So I'm going to go on to the next slide and show the pictures of our team. We do have a brick and mortar office. That's our office with our sign, Marshall Reddick, and that's our whole team. We have a full staff of leasing agents, property managers, tenant coordinators, maintenance coordinators. We're fully staffed. We work very well together. We're a big family. That shows a picture also when we celebrated Thanksgiving last year, had our holiday party. So we're a full service real estate team. We're a one-stop shop. So we do sales. That's what I do. I'm the sales agent. I will help you find and identify your investment property. And we also do leasing. So the time it closes, I would introduce you to our leasing team, And, you know, you would be assigned your own leasing agent that would lease your property during a vacancy. We have a fast turnaround time for that too. And then we also have a maintenance coordinator that help you with any repairs needed. And they do all of that for you. And then of course, our property manager. So we manage your property. We help set you up with your online portal. You can see your invoices, you can see your rental payments. We do everything for you. One-stop shop, so all you have to worry about is collecting your rental check. And we specialize in single-family homes as well as multifamily. All right, so this is a map of San Antonio. It shows all the different areas of San Antonio. It's a huge city. A lot of people think of Texas and they think Houston and Dallas. Well, San Antonio is very big. I mean, as far as, because I've been to LA a lot and Newport, and when I drove through LA, San Antonio is very comparable to LA, how big everything's spread out. It takes about 45 minutes to an hour to drive from one side of the city to the other. So it's a huge city. We do have a lot of fun stuff to do. You know, there's Six Flags, there's SeaWorld. We have our wonderful river walk downtown, so we do get a lot of tourists. Now we also are known as Military City. We do have 4 military bases, so that brings a lot of military tenants, a lot of military family that aren't looking to buy, but they're just looking to rent. Anywhere, they're stationed anywhere from 3 to 4 years at a time. And, you know, they're probably one of the best tenants to have. So we do get a lot of our tenant pool of people looking are like almost like 30%, almost, yeah, 30% are military. And then we have USAA, they're one of our huge employers. They're located really close to our office, actually, near the medical center. We have the University of Texas at San Antonio, that's actually close to where I live. And then we have a lot of other universities, that's just the most popular one, but we have like the medical school, UT Health Science Center. So we have a lot of surgeons, you know, that train, and the dentist school. So the good thing about this map, it shows you that we are very diverse in the job market. We're not just dependent off one thing. We're not just dependent off the military. We have like a lot of medical professionals. We have a lot of IT people. We have a lot of financial institutions here that are headquartered here. It's just, and then the hotel and tourist industry, lots of restaurants, lots of entertainment. It's just a very healthy job market. Even right now, our job market is still booming in San Antonio. It's still really good. So this is a map of Seguin showing you how close Seguin is to San Antonio. Seguin is considered the San Antonio market because it's a surrounding area. So San Antonio is to the left. Seguin is only about 30 minutes from San Antonio. And it's not far. You don't even know you're leaving San Antonio when you get to Seguin because there's so many businesses surrounding the highway when you get to Seguin. And it's only about 15 minutes from New Braunfels, and it's only an hour from Austin. So Seguin is an up and coming city. It's got a lot of essential jobs there. The unemployment rate is very low even right now in Seguin because there's a lot of essential workers, lots of warehouse industry type of jobs, as well as a lot of teachers there. So I'm going to introduce Josh Gutierrez. He and myself, we are the co-listers of the community we're going to present. So he's going to tell you a little about himself and talk about the Seguin area.
Good morning, well, good afternoon now, everyone. Thank you again for joining us and taking a little bit of time out of your weekend to get to know us and get to know the community that we're so proud to present today. If you can go back, let's see. Can we go back to that previous slide? There we go. So I've been in the mortgage industry for since the early 2000s. The majority of my time I spent it with Wells Fargo. That's actually where me and Christina met, and we've kind of stuck together ever since. So she took me under her wing and brought me on to Marshall Reddick, which has been the best decision ever. I do a little bit of everything. I mean, that's the beauty of Marshall Reddick. Not only for you guys as investors, but for me as a realtor, I get to do a little bit of everything. You know, buy, sell, management, and then obviously leasing, which is where I started. I can speak, read, write Spanish. So if you want to work in Spanish with me, vamos a hacerlo. Let's do it, right? Sold and leased 286 properties since I joined Marshall Reddick in 2017. It's been a crazy ride, one that I will never exchange for anything. I've learned so much and met so many great people, such as yourself. So let's see, let's go to the next slide. So the beauty of Seguin is that it has a lot of things going on. Seguin's finally arrived. Seguin is actually one of the oldest towns in Texas. It was established in 1838, but now it's come to its boom. It's starting to feel the boom. So you have companies like Caterpillar. If you don't know Caterpillar, they build a lot of, they manufacture a lot of construction equipment, mainly like, big, heavy construction equipment that you see out in construction sites. One of their main hubs is in Seguin with over 2,000 employees. Vitesco Technologies, a lot of people don't know about Vitesco, but they build powertrains that are looking to make like more green-driven technology, so that way they can help the environment. And then obviously, you're going to have your local employers like Seguin Independent School District, the hospital, which is Guadalupe Regional Medical Center. You have other manufacturing like the steel company, CMC. Lots of things going on, but these are the majority of the people that we see that are leasing our current duplexes right now. And the unemployment rate in Seguin is actually very low, 3.7%. So they're not feeling much of this time that we're in. They're doing very, very well. So like I was saying, Seguin, lots of things that are going good for it. The population has increased by 18% since 2010. If you're wondering how many people are in Seguin right now, it's about a little over 30,000, right? And then the city's population, it's projected to be about 40K by 2030 and 50K by 2040. A lot of what's helping with that is that what we're starting to see in talking to the economic developer for the city of Seguin. He's letting us know that, hey, there's a lot of subdivisions or master plan communities that are coming down the pipeline. And we're going to see a little bit of that here in a second. They're kind of gearing up and setting up the infrastructure for what's to come. And then we also got, putting our ear to the ground, we got nudged or tapped on the shoulder, and we're told that Toyota's actually coming to the outskirts of Seguin. So that's going to drive more employment, more growth for the city. Cost of living is actually pretty low, 3.8% lower than the average, than the Texas average, and 9.9% lower than the U.S. average. So that's why you see a lot of manufacturing, a lot of companies being established in Seguin, because you don't have to pay a very high wage, and you can run a business with good people and a lot of bilingual people, right? Because 54% of Seguin is made up of Hispanics. Okay. Cost of living index, you can see it's 90%. What I like about this is if the next two are San Antonio and New Braunfels, it sits right in the middle, and that's right where it is. If you look at San Antonio, New Braunfels, and Seguin on the map, it sits a little in between. It's like a little Bermuda Triangle, but it kind of feeds off of both cities too. So it's in a perfect little storm. See here. So what we were talking about as far as like the future growth of what's coming down the pipeline, I know it's kind of hard to see. It's a little small in font, but these are all the subdivisions that are coming to Seguin. So there's about 8,500 more or less approximate dwellings that are proposed in the city of Seguin, right? And you can see all of them are numbered. And then our duplex community, which is a green circle right there off Kingsbury, is going to be one of those that are lending to the future growth of the Seguin market. What I do like, I'm going to point out here on where you see the green circle, you see where it says I-10 West right above it, and then you see Kingsbury, right? Which is perfect because a lot of people, when they live in these communities, they want easy access to the highway. If you go to the east, you're going to go to Houston, and if you go to the west, you're going to go to San Antonio. If you go a little bit north, you're going to end up in New Braunfels. So it's got quick access. It's a great artery for this city to get any products or materials back into their town, because we all know Houston's a port city.
Yes. And just the reason why this slide is so powerful is that you can see all the projected growth that is being planned. So it's going to be growing, which is why Marshall Reddick has sought this place out to expand for our investors.
Mm-hmm. Yes, powerful indeed. Let's go to the next slide. So a little bit about the builder. 210 Communities. I mean, they know what they're doing. They got it down to a science. They got 23 years of experience in land acquisition, entitlement, development. They've completed numerous beautiful communities that we've seen and been a part of. The majority of the part, we started as a management company, as their preferred management company, and we still are. But now we're taking on a different role as a listing agent for them. We've worked anywhere from, North Texas to like Buda, which is a little south of Austin, Kyle, which is a little further south from Buda, and then we got New Braunfels, which maybe some of the attendees today have bought in New Braunfels. Seguin is the next one, but we also have some in San Antonio, obviously, with a bigger metropolitan area. But that just goes to show, like, hey, they know what they're doing. They know which spots, because of their land acquisition experience, they know what parts to attack, which parts to use for investment. So,
Great, thank you so much, Josh.
Yeah, so let me say one thing. As I was talking about the communities, I can only do it so much justice, and I'm gonna hand it over to Christina because she's our Vanna White. She can do it better than I can. So I'm gonna bring her on now.
You're so silly. Thank you, Josh. So hi everyone, it's me again. So I just wanted to point out about the builder real quick before I present the properties. I've worked with this builder selling. Tanya and I actually sold the Creekside duplexes that are very similar to this community. So a lot of our clients, that are on here may have already bought in New Braunfels, and then we also sold numerous of the same with this builder, another community that we closed out. Actually, I think 4 other communities that we completely sold out in New Braunfels, and then Seguin is right next door to New Braunfels. The Guadalupe River runs right through it, through Seguin and New Braunfels. And a lot of my friends that work in northeast side of San Antonio, which is a very busy area, they actually live in Seguin because it's lower crime, and it's more of because the river runs through there, and it's just a nice family fun place to live. And you're in the middle of everything. You hop on the highway, you get to San Antonio, no problem at all. Or you can drive to Houston. It doesn't take long, only an hour to Austin. So it's almost like Seguin's like really surrounded by a lot of businesses and everything. That's why we're selling this, and we're happy to present this. And we work with this builder for a while, so we're familiar with their product. The clients that already bought these duplexes in other communities, they've been very happy. There hardly have been any maintenance issues at all. And these duplexes were made for investors, so it will last throughout different tenants. So here's a picture of the property. They're all going to be the same layout, same square footage, same price. And they have 2-car garages, and they're very big. They feel like a house. They don't feel like a duplex when you walk in. Long driveways, you can fit a lot of cars in there. And when you walk in, it has high ceilings in the living room. There's concrete stained flooring that's very nice. That's almost indestructible. So you're not going to have to worry about pulling out carpet, replacing, flooring every time a tenant moves out. That concrete stained flooring will last. And it's very shiny, contemporary looking. The countertops are really nice in the kitchen. And right there just shows you a 3D look of the whole property. It's very, very big when you walk in, very nice. And another thing I want to point out, it gets quite hot in San Antonio and Seguin. It's like supposed to be 106 on Monday, which is insane. We're used to the 90s, but once it gets over 100, it's just really high. When you walk into these duplexes, it feels cool because the concrete stained flooring keeps it cooler. There's extra insulation that this builder puts in these duplexes, so you're not hearing the other tenant on the other side that easily. So it's really nice. It has nice curb appeal. The front yard has xeriscape, so you have that river rock. It's really, really nice. It shows you a completed community, and so you can see how nice and everything's well kept. So this shows you the living room. This is one of our model units in the community. It's not going to be a very big neighborhood. That's another thing. A lot of people ask, well, how big is it? It's only 4 streets. So, it's a fairly small neighborhood. It looks really nice. Once it's completed, it's going to be all, the same floor plan. But when you see here, this is a staged unit that our leasing agents actually take potential tenants when they're wanting to lease out a property. They take them to this model unit and say, look, this is what it looks like, so they can get an idea of their furniture and stuff. And then, because there's still some properties being built, but then that's good to have this model unit to show. And then this shows you how big the living room is. And, plenty of space for a kitchen, a table, granite countertops. There's no carpet in any of the rooms. It's got recessed lighting. Granite countertops are also in the bathrooms as well. The appliances are included. So that's another good thing. A lot of builders don't always include the appliances. So everything's included with this. It has the stainless steel appliances. It has the built-in microwave, the oven, the dishwasher, the refrigerator that has an ice maker. The sinks are real deep. It's really nice. It has garbage disposal. It's really, really contemporary looking. It shows very, very well. That shows you a picture on the left side of the master bedroom. Very high ceilings. There's ceiling fans in every room. And you can see a big bed in there, and there's quite a big dresser. So it's got a lot of room for furniture and a big bed. And that's the top part is the master bathroom. It's got double vanity sink, granite countertop, and it has a nice big walk-in shower. So it's very, very spacious, and the master has a large walk-in closet with lots of space. The backyard has a covered patio with a ceiling fan, and it has a pretty nice sized backyard. You don't want the yard to be too big for the tenant, and you don't want it to be too small. So this is just the perfect size backyard. And not every duplex has a covered patio. So it's really nice to have a covered patio. It makes it very upscale. And even the other 2 bedrooms are very roomy. That's one of the bedrooms on the top left side. You can make it like an office, or you could fit 2 kids' beds in there too. And then all of the rooms have ceiling fans again. So this shows you the financials. So it has a numbers breakdown. This is considered a Class A property. So I know earlier Tanya showed you like the average cost of home. The average cost of home in San Antonio is about only $240,000. And I know in California, I don't even think you can get like a carport for that, but $240,000 is our average cost of house. That's like a normal 3-bedroom, 2-bath with good schools in a good area, not a rough area. So that's your average typical suburban cost of home. So we're used to like 14, 15, 1600 a month. That's like the average. And we live very comfortable with that. It's very affordable for us to live. So in Seguin, there's not much competition for these duplexes. We're the only very, very few. There's only one other, and it's very small. It's like only like 4 duplexes, and that's it. And they're all rented out, but that's our only competition. And there's no other duplex community in Seguin. We're the only, one that features a 2-car garage and very affordable. There's some older homes that are very nice, very established, the older homes, but they're mainly primary owner occupied. So there's not many homes for rent. If there are, they're going to be a lot more pricier than these. And so a lot of people, it's very high demand. The few that we sold, I sold 3 of these duplexes already in this community. We sold them, or I'm sorry, we leased them out less than 30 days, average 2 weeks to get the tenant in, because there's such high demand in Seguin. There's not much to rent. So there's not going to be that much competition. And this builder builds 6 properties at a time. So they're not oversaturating the area with all these rentals. So once they build 6, we're going to lease them all out very quickly, and then they'll build the other 6. So that's how they go. And it's not going to be a very big neighborhood. So this shows you the financials. It's $379,900. And it is Class A. It's going to be about 1,372 square feet for each unit. Combined, it's 2,744 square feet, but each unit's a little over 1,300 square feet. This shows you all the monthly expenses. So there's going to be fixed expenses and there's going to be variable expenses. So the fixed expenses is your mortgage payment. You're always going to have your mortgage payment with the taxes and insurance rolled in. We're going to charge you a small monthly management fee of only 7%. Most other companies charge 10%. We only charge 7%, and we only charge that when a tenant's occupying. We don't charge that when it's vacant. There's a small HOA fee, and then there's no utilities or landscaping because the tenant is responsible in setting up the electric and water under their name. So you don't have to worry about paying utilities, and there's no landscaping because the HOA covers the landscaping for the front yard. And these come with full sprinkler systems, all where there's grass in the side and the backyard. So the tenant's responsible in watering their own yard and keeping it mowed. And there's plenty of space for our tenants to put their own little weed eater and lawnmower in the garage. So that it's on their lease. They have to maintain the backyard, but it's easy for them because it's not that big, and they have the sprinkler system so they could put it on a timer and everything. So after all monthly expenses, you're cash flowing over almost $500 a month. And that's putting down, your traditional 30% down. You can put down more, or if you pay cash, obviously the cash flow will be a lot higher. You can also switch the rate. It just defaults to 4.65%, but you can go into our website and go into the financial calculator and lower the rate or switch it to whatever your lender quoted you, and it changes the payments. So the calculator allows you to change your down payment, the rate, and it'll change everything for you. So that's a good thing. It's very flexible for that. And so that's your monthly expenses. After that, you almost get $500 a month, and that's fixed. Now, variable, a lot of people ask questions about the variable. Variable takes into consideration if you do have a vacancy, if you do have maintenance issues that you're going to have to pay for and repair. And then we charge a one-time leasing fee of half the rent, and that's to, for us to find a qualified tenant for you. but we only charge that one time per tenant. So the tenant could live there for 4 or 5 years. And then once that tenant moves out, then we'll have to charge a one-time leasing fee again to find a new tenant for you. A lot of other companies charge a lot higher than that. They'll charge 75% of the rent or even 1 month's rent. We just do half of rent for that one time to find a tenant. So that's what the variable expenses are for being to be conservative. Then you're going to be a little positive 37 a month, but that's not every single month. That's just whenever you have the maintenance, the vacancy, and then a leasing fee. Most of our tenants are getting that 486 a month. That's what you're going to normally see. So that's why we just like to give you the variable versus fixed expenses. There's a 15-year annual ROI rate of interest return, interest rate on there. It's 17.75%, which is really high. That gives you, I would love to make that, off my money. So that's a very high projection. This also does not take in consideration the rents that we raise each year. Each year we tend to raise the rents by $50. So it's not much. It's not high enough to scare the tenants off. It'll cost them more to move. So if they're paying $1,450 a month the first year, the next year we'll most likely raise it to $1,500, and the next year it'll be $1,550, and on and on. So you'll start off with almost $500 a month cash flow, but 5 years down the road, you're almost going to have $1,000 a month cash flow because of the increase of the rent. And that's not including all the equity and appreciation you're going to have. So that's, what I also would like to point out. But this is a great property. There's 4 right now to choose from. So contact Tanya or myself or Josh and let us know, what you're, if you're interested, and we can go over like a plot map where the properties are at, so you could select it and reserve it. And these are going to be ready to close by August. We're very, very busy. A lot of people still are calling our sign that's listed outside this community that says for, our leasing sign, because we already leased everything out. So the ones that are coming up, for people to reserve and contract on, our leasing agents are answering the phone saying, well, we have some properties coming up. So we're able to pre-lease these once we get the certificate of occupancy. So there's a chance we can even have these filled before you close. So that's another thing that we want to, that's exciting about this. So a lot of people are very interested in renting these out. There's a high demand. There's not much competition. It's a very great, great property, and get it while it's still affordable, because I guarantee these prices on their next phase will be increasing. So right now it's still under 380,000 for right now. So, just reach out to Tanya, myself, or Josh, and let us know if you're interested, because we can definitely help you be the first to select like the good, where you want your property at, and we'll let you know on the plot map where it's at. So that was a lot of information, I know. So let me go on to the next slide. Okay, now this is the property management part. So I'm going to let Josh step in and talk about our property management services. Take it away, Josh.
So property management, they say you date your realtor and then you marry your property manager, right? Because that's where the rubber meets the road. What I do like about our management, it's a very simple approach. We're not gonna nickel and dime you to death. It's very much, like your leasing fee, what you pay, which Christina alluded to, was 50% for the first month of rent. And then, just your management fee is really the meat and potatoes when it comes down to the management fee. For a duplex, it would be 7%, as you can see on the slide here. The great thing about the partnership we have with the builder, and I know it was mentioned before, is that they give us the opportunity to pre-lease. So that way, by the time you close, you're instantly getting a return on investment. And that is a huge advantage that we have as a team to help all of our clients and investors. For the property management part, what I always like to call out is that since we are the preferred management company for this builder, for this development, we champion and we always fight to get the projected rents that we told you would get at the time of purchase. We're not like other, brokerage firms that tell you, yeah, you can get this, and then once the sale happens, they disappear. We don't just hand you off and leave you on an island. It's all within one shot. Okay, so from the moment we are prospecting property to the point where you close, and then we hand you off to management, well, we're still within the same team. What does that mean for you? When we're leasing in the same community, that means that we get to control the rent somewhat, because obviously you have the right to pick whomever you want for management. But with us, we're always going to be making sure that no matter which owner we're working with, we're going to get the rents that we need to get for this community. The drawbacks when you see other communities and they have like 7 different property management companies, you look them up on Zillow and you have 3 different rents going on at the same time on the same street. But not with us. We're always going to be fighting and champion the projected rents that we always called out. Other little things that I want to allude to is like, if there ever happens to be, maintenance done, we don't charge you for any coordinating of that. And especially with these buildings, they got a 210 warranty, which means that the first 2 years, it's like a bumper to bumper. And then, very minimal maintenance is going to be required on these properties. The late fee, because we do some work and some due diligence behind that, we split those 50-50. And then if you're ever at a point where you have some vacancy, we don't charge you the management fee. If you're not making money, we're not making money. Okay. We'll go on to the next slide here. So we have a great management team. Our property manager is Emily Sanders, and we're very picky in our staffing process, in our hiring process. When we picked our tenant coordinators, our maintenance coordinators, because we realize the importance of your investment, right? And we're very cognizant in the sense that you guys are like 1,500 miles away, sometimes even more. So we want to be your boots on the ground, and we want to make sure you're taking care of your property. So what do? We market your property whenever it's ready for rent. We run thorough comps to make sure we have the right rent. We don't want to lowball your property, and we also don't want to over project a rent and have your property sit vacant for a month or 2. You really just kind of kick back and collect rent. It's really our goal as a management team. If you ever want us to do a very thorough periodic inspection, we can do that as well, and we will provide you a report for that. Anytime we do maintenance, let's say you have another single family home and you need maintenance done. Well, we don't have in-house maintenance companies that work for us or maintenance personnel. Everything we do is with third-party vendors. We don't want to have a conflict of interest, and that has been the best way for us. There's so many things that we do behind the scenes, but these are just some of the things that we can easily share right now. That way you get an idea of what we do for you. Let's go to the next slide. As you can see, since the day we put our brick and mortar building in San Antonio in 2017, we are growing at a very fast pace. A lot of people are buying into our philosophy and culture, and it's working. We have a great team. Like I said again, we have over 500 units now. So the major clusters, obviously, around San Antonio. You look a little up, and you'll see New Braunfels, and then that small cluster down there is Seguin. Okay, so we're pretty spread out. We actually, we're very proud of what we've done as a team. We're doing very well, and we look to have more investors into our family of owners. So we have a lot of success, and we have a lot of trust in our leasing. So as you can see, the note down there says, sign lease within 30 days after closing. If not, we will pay for your leasing fee if we do procure a tenant. So basically what they're saying is this: if we don't procure a tenant within 30 days, we will take care of the leasing fee. And that's for this
That's such
community.
peace of mind, Josh. I'm glad you mentioned that. That is correct. So that's a big selling point, is if we don't lease out your unit 30 days or less, or a signed lease within 30 days after you close, we will pay for your leasing fee. So that's how confident we are with getting a signed lease within 30 days after closing, because this is such a high demand area. Sorry, thanks, Josh. That's great that you pointed that out.
Yeah, and I want to say something, just because I don't want the attendees to think, or anyone in the audience to think like, oh, well, you're just going to put whoever. We have very, very good requirements, strict requirements for our tenants. That's kind of the secret to our sauce. If you want to know those requirements, just because we're trying to monitor the time on this call, give me a call. I can go in depth over that. But just to run some things off, we ask for 3 times the rent, no broken leases or evictions. We require 600 credit and up. If you don't have a 600 credit and up, we're going to ask for extra deposit. But there's more involved behind those requirements. If you want to find out more, we're always going to give you a quality tenant. Give me a call and I can go more in depth about that.
Yeah, and just to kind of, for sake of time, it's really important that you all have a great experience, because when you have a great experience, you continue to repeat your family and friends, which is the majority of my business after being here for 8 years. And it's the property management's time and energy to place the right tenant first and foremost, because it makes their life easier. And when it makes their life easier, it makes your life happy. So let's go ahead. I really, you guys keep writing questions. Please continue to write questions. This is a moment to do some Q&A. I know we've shared a lot with you, so please do, continue asking questions, because we want to answer them for you. So let's see. I'm going to kind of go over a couple questions here right now, and keep them coming in, guys. All right. Let's see. This one's a good one. Okay, because these are new properties, and this is a great question that you guys are asking, what's included in the 10-year builder warranty? Christina, I think that was on your slide. Do you want to answer that?
Oh yeah, definitely. So right now we're not seeing any maintenance issues because it's brand new, but you are protected with a 10-year builder warranty. The 10-year builder warranty covers the roof. It covers foundation. It covers plumbing. It covers electrical. It has a bumper to bumper for the first 2 years of all the appliances are covered. It covers the AC for 10 years. Everything you see has that 10-year builder warranty that covers quite a bit. And we can actually, if you reach out to Tanya after, the next day or two, Tanya is going to be reaching out to all of you that attended, and we can provide you with the actual brochure, the warranty that gives you everything, because it's pretty detailed. But that's a great question.
Yeah, I think the brochure would be super helpful. I'm a visual person, so I'm happy to share that with you guys. Go ahead and type in "I want the brochure" in the question box. That'll really help me kind of get you what you want. And then another question is how long have you guys worked with the builder? I know we covered this earlier. Christina, that was on your slide too. Do you want to answer that one about how long we worked with?
Yeah, so actually, even before I started Marshall Reddick, Tanya has been selling this product for a while, New Braunfels, to her clients. But I have been working with this builder since 2017. So this builder has 5 other communities in the surrounding areas that we already, Tanya and myself, sold a bunch of these duplexes to a bunch of clients already. And it's been since 2017 to now. And we've proven all of those other communities that we completely sold out. There's no vacancies right now for the properties we have. They're all rented out right now. So it's been doing really well. Great question.
And just a follow-up, somebody was wanting clarification on what exactly the HOA covers. I can answer the part that I really love about it is keeping the face of the community clean. They take care of the landscaping in the front of all the homes. To me, hands down, that's super important. But Christina, do you want to add additional things about HOA and what it covers?
Yeah, so it covers the common areas of the community. It covers the electrical, the lighting, the security lights throughout all the streets, so it's not dark when you drive in at night. It covers, of course, the landscaping. It covers paying the HOA company their salary so their team can go out there and do their weekly drive-bys to make sure nobody's trashing the neighborhood, leaving trash out, parking on the lawn. A lot of when I drive through other communities that don't have HOA, it looks horrible. Like the neighborhoods get trashed out. People don't want to live there. It's not a very good curb appearance. The HOA makes sure that the neighborhood and community looks clean and well kept and well maintained. Because if you don't have an HOA in your community, anybody can trash it. Anyone can and there's no one there to manage it. And so that, and HOA is very affordable. It's not that expensive. The tenant pays for it anyways with the rent. So, I mean, you still cash flow very well. So that was a very good point. And I also wanted to say Seguin, the city Seguin, is named after one of the people that died in the Alamo, along with David Crockett. So a little history lesson there.
Fun trivia. I love it. Okay. And then let's see. This question is for Josh. Josh, you were talking just now about tenants, leasing, all that stuff. So the question is, what type of tenants are leasing these units? Like what kind of jobs, I'm assuming they're asking.
Actually, what we've seen is a lot of, I've had a couple teachers, some nurses from the regional hospital there. Basically, essential workers is what you're seeing. We did get some guys from HEB, which is the big market. I don't know if you've heard, it's kind of like Kroger, but HEB is huge in Texas. So we're seeing a lot of that, like, people with more essential job roles than anything.
Mm-hmm. All right, great. And then, Josh, this is also a property management question. Do you charge a management fee prior to the property being rented? So maybe they're asking, do you charge me 7%, while my property is vacant? Maybe that's what they're asking.
Got it. Yeah, no, so we don't. I think it's crazy when management companies do charge regardless. But we don't. There's no charge at all. If it's vacant, then we need to get our butts in gear to get you a tenant. That's more important.
I agree. So we think it's fair, and I'm sure you would agree that we won't make money until you're making money. So
Exactly.
that's perfect. Thanks, Josh. And then the last question, I'm going to answer it because it was just presented so well by Josh. How long? But this was asked before. I'm thumbing through questions. This was asked before, so I'm just going to reiterate it. How long will it take for my units to rent out? Well, we just said our history track record of the ones that we've recently closed. It took on average 2 weeks. none of them over 30 days, which is why Marshall Reddick, for people that are here, we're giving that guarantee about if we don't rent it out in 30 days, Marshall Reddick will pay for that leasing fee. So everybody that we do review has to pass our extensive 7 questions. I know Josh covered like 4 of them, but they have to go through a huge background check and everything to meet our requirements. So our life is easy, which makes you happy. So now what's next, guys, right? You guys are all here. Everyone's on here. I'm an advisor. Like I said, I've been with the company for almost 8 years now. And what you can expect from a consultation with me is, goal setting, how you can get there, when you want to buy, what specifically you want to buy, where you want to buy, and then I'm going to introduce you and directly connect you to Josh or Christina, right? If you guys want to have conversations right away about, Seguin duplexes to reserve one of the 4 that are going to be completed in August, or if you just want to brainstorm for kicking the can later on down the road, you're not ready yet, love to have that conversation. All right, you guys, I know we're all crazy connected. You probably have your cell phone in hand, snapping photos throughout this presentation. Just for peace of mind, go ahead, you can snap a photo, text me, see my cell phone, the 310-490-3124. Go ahead and text me. I'm available to chat. I would love to talk to you if you guys really need to talk right now. I'm happy to do so. But more importantly, I'll be sending you the recording of this presentation because it was so much information. And maybe you want to bring a loved one on and share it with them before making a huge financial purchase. That we understand that. That's why we send out the recordings. My email is on there. You can email me and then I'll loop in Josh and Christina so that we can get you towards what it is exactly you want. Again, a little bit about me right there. Love what I do. Can't wait to meet you so that we can end up like this. Like I said, I've sold over 700 properties, and these are just a couple of my favorites. I do local real estate, not, in addition to everything out of state. So I can't wait to get to know you if I don't already. I see a couple familiar names on here, so hello. And thank you so much for your time, and we can't wait to work with you. Have a great day, y'all.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
Have a
Bye.
good weekend.
Bye.
Bye.